The MCU is one of the most popular film franchises in film history. Over the past decade, Marvel films have dominated the box office, breaking records with every big release. Superheroes have always been for people who are outcast or are othered. However, LGBTQ representation within the MCU is pretty non-existent. When figuring out how I was going to talk about this, I found that you could argue that these characters aren't that heterosexual either, because most of the romance or sex happens off camera, or is implied, if at all. Of course, this does not include the earlier Iron Man films where Tony Stark is established as an aggressive womanizer, or the fact that Clint has a wife, or the fact that Quill has chased Gamora in basically every film since his introduction, or the sad excuse of a relationship in the Thor films. Essentially, these films are sexless, mainly to appeal to kids and to make it through China's censors, which is fine. A random sex scene wouldn't make these films better, or even make sense from a narrative standpoint, but these characters are established as straight. That being said, some of these characters are very easy to be read as queer. Queer reading is a technique that came out of queer theory in the 80s as a way of analyzing literature or film to challenge heteronormativity. Anyone who has spent any time on social media has heard about Stucky, which is a ship of Steve Rogers and Bucky. If you analyze Steve and Bucky's relationship while watching these films, you can get a sense of longing or flirting.
But you're keeping the outfit, right? You know what?
Cap is also a victim of forced heterosexuality. They want to show you that he's longing for Peggy the entire time, and even throw in a poorly developed relationship with her niece. In the comics, Bucky is loosely based on Marvel's first openly gay character, Arnie Roth. In fact, there are a few other MCU characters that are a part of the LGBTQ community in the comics. Valkyrie is bisexual. Loki is bisexual and gender fluid, as confirmed by the author Al Ewing.
There's not many people who can sneak up on me.
But you figured I'd come.
Okoye, known as Anika in the comics, and Ayo, who is in love with Okoye, and had a scene where they flirted cut from Black Panther.
Move, or you will be moved.
As entertaining as that would be.
You really think you can find him?
Captain Marvel, depending on who has the title, is a lesbian. Carol Danvers is straight in the comics, but Phyla Vell is a lesbian. However, the MCU is known to take creative liberties when it comes to these characters, so why not make Carol a lesbian, and not just subtextually? Captain Marvel is probably one of the most queerbaity films of the MCU.